Ladies and gentlemen, let's call the village board.
He's a 16-year naval veteran with 5 years of active duty. He has 4 children, ages 10 and below, 2 under 5. And this will become a little more succinct as I go on. So why did the government do this? Well, prior to 1973, the service members of the United States were of 2 types: volunteers and conscription, draft. In 1973, they knew they were going to go away with the draft and make it an all-volunteer force. With the experience that had been gleaned to date, they knew there was a need for someone to facilitate this relationship. Let's take a look at it for a second. You take a guy, young family, 4 kids, and you say he's in the reserve. Well, a lot of older folks think, that's like the Boy Scouts, right? What you really need to understand is he is held to the same standards, be they physical or mental, and schooling, as active duty personnel, period. Especially in the Navy, they have tests for promotions. So what happens is, the next question becomes, why is Steve Lubinsky here? I hear he's a pretty good machine operator. I suspect the village needs a pretty good machine operator. I suspect you think he's probably the best you could get your hands on, or you wouldn't have hired him. And there's a conflict, okay? That conflict is simple. You hired him to perform a job. He now has got 2 bosses, the United States government and the village of Mount Pleasant. So our organization tries to facilitate a good working win-win mutual relationship between them. I would ask you to consider, some of you are golfers, I'm sure, and some of you have your own families at home. But Petty Officer Lubinsky, with his young family, has to keep up with his schooling, has to keep up with his physical requirements, and that's in addition to his job and in addition to his home, his family. So what happens is, while you're out on a weekend, maybe playing golf, playing cards, enjoying yourself, he is just as likely to be studying or off to a school you know nothing about. It's a tremendous drain on his family. It's a tremendous drain on the village of Mount Pleasant. Therefore, we're here to try to make it a win-win deal. The employer support of the Guard and Reserve is a 3-legged stool. The first leg is we have people who support and train the military personnel on something called USERRA. USERRA is a Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act of 1994. So they ran with this thing for 22 years before they realized that, some of those employers are pretty bad. By the way, some of the military people are pretty bad too. So we need to level the playing field. And they came out with this law. And the law is clear, level, and fair. Petty Officer Lubinsky has responsibilities to you under that law, as you have responsibilities to him. And that's as simple as it is. So how do we train people on that? Well, we have a division called the Military Outreach Program, which I know a guy that's involved with that. And then we have another leg of that stool, and it's called the Employer Outreach Program. And I know a guy who's involved with that. However, we have a third stool, a leg, and that is, and I always stumble on this word, Ombudsman Program. The Ombudsman Program is a program that ESGR has, whereby if there becomes a misunderstanding or conflict or whatever it is that arises in that relationship, provided we are asked, we will come in and we will mediate an understanding if that's possible. We are not, we do not adjudicate, we try to help a solution. If Lubinsky's got a problem, and I am not part of that, those guys are mostly lawyers, okay? And if I didn't say it, the majority of volunteers are prior service members, but not all right? So if Lubinsky's a problem, and that comes out of that meeting, that's pretty easy to handle. Commander, we got a problem. That's how the military handles that. If the mediator, ombudsman, better word, walks away from that meeting and feels there's really something serious there, and it lies on the employer's side, it gets referred right out of ESGR to the Department of Labor. There's only one organization I want chasing me less than the Department of Labor, and that's the IRS. So that's not good news. We consider that a failure rate. Mediation didn't work, and we have a very, very low failure rate. So we are here to serve as well. All right. That being said, I explained that his family goes through a real hardship, which you wouldn't know about. Well, I'm here tonight to give the Patriot Award, but we have a Patriot Award for the wife in the family. We recognize them, okay? And there are a number of other awards that we have for employers. And the Patriot Award as foreign employers normally for a first-line supervisor or a senior supervisor. But we have awards actually that would be for Mount Pleasant. There are 3 categories of award: large company, small company, and municipality. It's interesting to note that 2 years ago, Wisconsin, out of all of the states and territories, for all 3 categories, it was Wisconsin groups that won the National Freedom Award. That is the biggie, okay? So all that being said, I'm going to say, are there any questions on what I've covered so far? Because now we get into the meat of the thing. If there is, shout it out. I know where to get the answer. Okay. That being said, I'm going to ask Petty Officer First Class Lubinsky to join me at this time, please. In the military, we say post. So this young man is going to tell you right now why he nominated the recipient of the Patriot Award for tonight. It is your mic.
So I nominated Mr. Bowers over here. I've been through a number of jobs that have not necessarily looked down, but I've been a burden for what I do in the reserves. Normally you think reserves 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. I'm part of the Seabees, a commissioned battalion, so I'm called out more. I'll do, at a Sunday, I'm leaving for 3 weeks. Come October, the end of October, I'm mobilizing out to the Middle East. The reason why I nominated Bob Bowers is because I had an interview to work for Mount Pleasant, and I mentioned to him, Lindsay, Mary, and Blair, that I'm a active reservist, and all of them, without question, without hesitation, without anything, said thank you. And that just blew me away. Like I said, I had multiple jobs before where it was more of a burden than it was anything else. So that blew me away. And since being hired back in August, I've had times where I've had to go away for 4 days, 9 days, 3 weeks, I would tell Bob, and he would say, you know, right off the bat, thank you for your service. Have fun. Any number of things that was encouraging to me and my family to know that I have a job when I come back and that they're proud. And to me, that just said the world. So that's why I nominated Bob Bowers, because it's been more than 10 times that I've had to say, hey, Bob, I gotta leave. Like it's Sunday, I have to leave. And he says, thank you for your service, right off the bat. So to me, being a reservist, that's amazing. So.
I'll give you a black pen and it smears. Take it out of there. There's only 2 tabs in the back. You sign it there, and then we'll talk about it. I warned him I was going to throw out our butts.
Do I have to put it back together too?
As long as you don't ask me to, I won't care.
Well, while you do that, petty officer is a pretty significant rank in the Navy. I'm married to a tugmaster, retired tugmaster. So petty officer, that's quite an achievement, is it not?
16 years, climbed the ranks, trying to.
A lot of tests.
A lot of tests, and you're an enlisted guy, so, I mean, you really earned it. Yeah.
16 years, so it's been about 32 exams, about 200 questions each. You get 3 hours to do it. It's exhausting.
Very impressive.
As
We
a
should all be
foot-
saying
as a
thank you for your
footnote,
service.
I know you pay him well, but when he goes on active duty, he probably doesn't make what he makes here.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a fact of life.
yes.
USERRA does not require you, when he's on extended active duty, to cover his insurance, to make up the difference in his pay or to pay him in addition to that. But there are employers who do. I have a sister-in-law who retired from the Navy, 21 years. She did not exceed his rank. Same thing. This is an accomplishment in the Navy. So, that being said,
Before you do that,
Sure.
you should turn around, present that way so the photographer can take pictures.
oh,
She's
I
taking
love that.
pictures. Yes.
I like photo ops. Make sure you get my card. So, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I don't like turning my back on it.
You're fine.
Sir.
Get the mic out of there.
The state, Office of the Secretary of Defense, employer support of the Guard and Reserve recognizes Robert Bowers, Village of Mount Pleasant, as a patriotic employer for contributing to national security and protecting liberty and freedom, supporting employee participation in America's National Guard and Reserve forces. Signed National Chair and our Executive Director. Sir, you get to do the presentation. Shake hands, do all that good stuff like the city.
Do you wanna come a little closer up to the microphone?
Make up some stuff.
Here we go. I just wanted to thank you for being you, for just giving me a shot, working here, and just overall being just a decent person, especially for those in the reserves. Anytime I had to talk to you, you told me that you're proud of my service. Thank you, and have fun with whatever you're doing.
Not good at this. Not good at this. Anyways, I remember hiring Steve and stuff, when he came in for an interview and stuff, and then I said, I see that you are an active reservist, and the first words that came out of my mouth was, thank you for your service. That's, with people like him, it's like that, it goes down to everybody, and stuff like that. I will have to accept this award, not just for myself, for the Village of Mount Pleasant, because if it wasn't for the Village of Mount Pleasant, I would not be here. So I have to accept this award for the village of Mount Pleasant.
I get the mic back. Now, we've all seen war movies, and this is what's called the citation. I'm going to set it down right now. What it does is it describes why the award is given. I think maybe the best movie I've ever seen is Patton, and I don't know how many times he didn't pin an award on his personnel. So this is a little reversed, in as much as it's normally a senior person pinning a junior person, but I briefed these guys. You gotta turn to one another. All right, Patton. That's got real pins, so be careful, it bleeds red. No.
If it wasn't for the enlisted, for the reservists, or the veterans and stuff like that, I don't think we would be here today the way we are right now, stuff like that. So it takes them to go ahead and make us what we are here today. Stuff. I do thank you, Steve, for being a, we'll say, I say it this way, a career reservist and stuff like that. It's an honor to have you work in one of my departments and stuff like that, and work with one of the crews, when one of the other crew members are over here and stuff like that. It's a team and a half, split that way. And I do appreciate everything you do. And thanks to the village.
So that being said, in the military, we use something called an alibi. I forgot to tell you, but I'm going to tell you now. He said he's going to be mobilized. I guarantee you he won't make on mobilization what he makes here. And if it's a long-term mobilization, he may or may not receive health benefits from you, but the military will take care of it after 30 days, okay? Your HR person is Mary Cole, is more than welcome to contact me at any time. You all have my card. And I'm not here to help from the government. We all know that statement. You know, I'm not from Fort McCoy. I'm actually from the far north, 4 Mile Road and Highway H. So I'm easy to get a hold of. If I don't have the answer, I guarantee you I know where to get it. That being said, if I didn't say it, this is his 4th deployment. 4th. And to dovetail on what he said, there's another way to say that. Without our military forces, we'd all be speaking German today. Okay? That being said, I'm going to ask President DeGroot to join me down here at the mic as I'm moving around. So, while you were listening, and I was asking him to do work, actually, he signed a statement of support for the Guard and Reserve for Mount Pleasant. This document is legally benign. It has no legal bearing on anything. USERRA is the law. You cannot sign in or out of it or modify it. However, this is everything, because what you heard tonight is stated on this plaque. And when you have people come in here to apply for jobs, they'll know they're in a friendly place if they're in the military. They don't at most places, and believe me, the law is there, but as first line supervisor can make things very difficult and everything else. So, sir, I don't know if you noticed this or not, This is not only signed by our national chair, it's signed by the current Secretary of Defense. Congratulations. Come on up. Come on up. That's what you get paid for. Was I spinning when you did that? Yeah. Take another one, I'll smile. Thank you. Congratulations. So, thank you very much, sir. That's yours. I hope to see it in the hall. Subject to your questions, this concludes my presentation. Do you have any questions at all? Thank you for your very courteous time.
Dale, thank you.
Just a couple of quick thoughts. Just wanted to, on behalf of the board, congratulate Bob Bowers on being a recipient of the Patriot Award. It's a pretty big deal. And certainly also on behalf of the board, to Petty Officer Steve, again, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
These are letters of recognition and commendation from our state chair and the Secretary of Defense.
Excellent.
Wow, Bob.
How about that? Okay, so the next proclamation isn't nearly as exciting as what we've just been through, but this is a proclamation declaring the week of April 30th as Professional Municipal Clerks Week.
Want to read it or shall I?
Did you
Sure.
read the citation?
There's no cake, but we will read. This is normally something that the village president can do at any time. He wanted to share this with all of you. The proclamation reads, whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the role of professional municipal clerks play in local government and election administration is critical to the endurance and prosperity of our village, and whereas the professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, and whereas, among numerous vital responsibilities, professional municipal clerks serve as the official record keepers of their municipality and are tasked with ensuring transparency and communication between the governing bodies they represent and the people they serve, and whereas professional municipal clerks provide essential support in the administration of elections, often preparing ballots, training election officials, and tabulating and certifying election results, and whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. I'm going to kick it to you, Dave, because you get to do the now therefore.
So now, therefore, the village board of the village of Mount Pleasant do hereby proclaim the week of April 30th through May 6th, 2023 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week.
All right.
Speech. We would like a speech. Speech.
Come on, Stephanie.
I think we want to get a picture of this as well. Stephanie Colhagen, if you could please stand, and the recipient of the proclamation declaring it Professional Municipal Clerks Week.
Congratulations, Steph. Well deserved. Well deserved. You get a whole week.
Okay, we have another presentation, and this is really why everybody's here today. It's for the ceremonial swearing in of the newly elected village president and village trustees.
Hard won and hard earned. Yeah. What do we do?
Do you want to, however you want to do it. Judge, what are you thinking?
Oh,
You want to take
where's that
everybody over
microphone?
there?
Go out in front.
So for those that have been elected,
Go ahead.
Re-elected?
do you want to take this all on at once or single or?
I thought we did last time, one by one, but.
You might want to grab your oath that I gave you.
We are doing the same time?
Yes.
Oh.
Remote one, perfect. Megan to the rescue.
Picture.
I, David DeGroot, having been elected
I, David DeGroot, having been elected
to the office of village president,
to the office of village president,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
John? Oh, okay. I was just gonna do them in order because you're number one.
Number one.
I, John Hewitt,
I, John C. Hewitt,
having been
having been elected to the office of village trustee number one, but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof, swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Nancy. Do we need this? I, Nancy Washburn,
I, Nancy Washburn,
having been elected
to
to the office of village trustee number 3,
the office of village trustee number 3,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Wisconsin,
and of the state of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of said office
of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
I, Rambani,
I, Ram Bhatia,
having been elected
having been elected
to the office of village trustee number 5,
to the office of village trustee number 5,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
but have not yet entered upon the duty thereof,
swear that I will support the Constitution
swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of said office
of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God. Thank you.
Can we just get John and Nancy back up here for a quick picture with Judge Fagley?
I don't think I ever met him. But
right, let's move on to public comment. Members of the public are welcome to provide comments on any matter. Please listen for the president to recognize you. State your name and address for the public record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. I see no public comments. Do you have anything in the basket? Anybody that hasn't signed up that wishes to speak on anything? Going once, going twice? Okay, so we'll close public comment. We'll move on to the next item, which is consent agenda. Trustee Hewitt.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adopt the items on the consent agenda.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So that motion carries. So let's move on to new business. We've got some community development things. We've got, excuse me? Yep, public hearing regarding Ordinance 11-2023, a zoning map amendment for 423 South Fancher Road, zoning map amendment ZMA 23-5. Robin Palm.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. This is a zoning map amendment to rezone 423 Fancher Road from residential estate lot to B2 community business. The applicant wishes to convert the existing home to a wedding event venue. We have recently modified the comprehensive plan from just residential to mixed residential commercial for this area and for a few parcels south. That has passed both Plan Commission and the Village Board. And this also passed the Plan Commission unanimously. Staff recommends approval. The applicant is here if any members of the board or the public have any questions.
Yeah, if the applicant would like to come up to the podium and say a few things regarding, what it is that you're trying to do here. We've seen it in our package, but we'd sure like to hear from you, just your thoughts.
My name is Tim Zelko. I used to live at 423 South Fancher Road. We still own the property, obviously. That house and our next door neighbors from when we first moved in, who actually was born in that house, we hated to see it be torn down possibly by the construction behind us and the apartment complexes going behind us. So we did not want to sell the house. We had thought about different ways to utilize that property for our benefit, for our family's benefit. So what we came up with finally as a group, as our family, is to make this into a wedding venue, okay? Wedding venues, there's a few of them around. A lot of them are average at best. We want to make this into a luxury wedding venue. We have a 3-story barn that we're probably gonna knock out the middle portion, so it'll be 3 stories up to the roof. We'll have chandeliers, we'll have skylights. We're gonna really do this as best as we can to be a beautiful, luxurious wedding venue in the area. We have a room between our house and the barn, which was a pool room, which is now a cemented pool room, which also makes for a larger area to have receptions in as well. We have a fair amount of property outside that we can have some outside weddings as well. So we feel like we can bring something to the community that has not been delivered here before, not even in southeastern Wisconsin, because we've gone out and looked at other wedding venues in the area. So we really want to upgrade the experience. We have the house so the couples and their wedding party can stay overnight before the wedding and or after the wedding as well. So we're just looking to really outdo any competition in the area. We're traveling around looking at other wedding venues through the Midwest that really are kind of the top-notch wedding venues in the Midwest, and we're kind of copying them.
Well, it sounds not only exciting, but ambitious as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can do well. It'll be fun. It's a family project.
Did the board have any direct questions for the petitioner? And I know that this has been through Plan Commission.
I do have to add that there was one condition on the recommendation, is that the rezoning is contingent upon the submission of a site plan within 1 year. Otherwise, it will revert back to resident estate lot.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
So this is the point during the public hearing where I open it up for public comment on this particular business matter, Ordinance 11-2023. I have nobody signed up to speak either for or against this. Is there anybody out there that was shy about signing up that does want to speak? Not hearing from any members of the public, we can close public comment on regarding the public hearing, and we've satisfied our statutory obligation. So from there, we can move to action item B, which is discussion possible motion on Ordinance 11-2023, which is a zoning map amendment for 423 South Fancher Road, zoning map amendment ZMA-23-5.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 11-2023 as presented.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second, and ladies and gentlemen, this is regarding what we just had the public hearing on, and I know that this has been through and approved by Plan Commission as well. Any other thoughts on this?
Mr. President, I'm very glad that we've gone through an extensive process with this, because my first concern on it was that it is in somewhat of a neighborhood, and I was very concerned about consideration of the neighbors. They've made a great effort, though, to talk to the neighbors. They have had no one come to our meetings to complain. No one was here from the neighborhood tonight for the public hearing. So I'm very satisfied that they are going to be good neighbors, and that any concerns have been addressed. So thank you.
So on the matter of Ordinance 11-2023, zoning map amendment for 423 South Fancher Road, ZMA 23-5, roll call, please.
Doxey.
Aye.
Clausen.
Aye.
Hewitt.
Aye.
Washburn.
Aye.
Bhatia.
Aye.
Anastasio.
Aye.
DeGroot.
Aye, that motion carries. So let's move down to Public Works. We've got discussion, possible motion on a gas pipeline easement between the Village of Mount Pleasant and We Energies for a bunch of parcel numbers that I'm not going to read.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the gas pipeline easement between the Village of Mount Pleasant and We Energies as presented.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. Mr. Claude.
Mr. President, trustees, again, this is held or moved over from the cow. This is the simple gas line that runs along Braun that we need to do an easement for now that obviously this parcel is being sold to Microsoft. So the one caveat I would like to add to the motion, though, please, is currently right now we're stating 50 feet easement. That may change. I'm still waiting for some feedback from We Energies on that, working with our friends at Microsoft. So other than that, it's just a simple easement along Braun for the gas line. Happy to answer any questions.
Do you need me to amend my motion?
I think the motion is good to cover
Yeah.
what you said.
Just so you're aware, yep.
No questions.
No questions. And this was just discussed at the cow meeting as well. So on the matter of the easement between Mount Pleasant and We Energies, roll call, please.
Doxey.
Aye.
Clausen.
Aye.
Hewitt.
Aye.
Washburn.
Aye.
Bhatia.
Aye.
Anastasio.
Aye.
DeGroot.
Aye, motion carries. So let's go to B, which is discussion, possible action regarding an award of contract for the 2023 paving program.
Excuse me. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the award of contract for the 2013 paving program to the low bidder, Payne and Dolan, in the amount of $3,020,855, and let's not forget the 52 cents.
Second.
Because we want to be accurate. So I'm guessing that this is Lindsay's sandbox now, right?
Yes, it will be. So as you can see from your packet, we got 4 bids received. That is an improvement from last year. And the bids came about $245,000 underneath the engineer's estimate. And total mileage for our roads will be 2.3 miles. That does not include the developer roads that will be added on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I second the motion.
Oh, Thank you.
Second, but it's 2023.
We had a second.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that.
Okay, continue.
And then I can answer any questions you might have.
Oh, okay.
Mr. President, now this was not, we were gonna approve this at the utility meeting. This was approved at Public Works, the paving program, because we have it on our utility agenda too. I didn't know if the motion needs to be subject to utility improvement or approval.
No, it doesn't need to be subject to that.
Okay. And did I say 2022?
You said 2013.
I like to go back in time, so maybe I should start over on that.
That's fine.
I think
2023.
we've got it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, so on the award of contract, I'm just going to ask for a voice vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So that motion carries unanimously. So let's go down to C, which is discussion possible action regarding an award of contract, Kinzie Avenue Reconstruction.
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion to award the contract for the Kinzie Avenue Reconstruction Project to the low bidder, Welcome Excavation, Inc., in the amount of $516,391.17.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. Back to Lindsay.
Sure, so this is 0.09 miles of road, so this will be Kinzie, just west of Emerson. There's just a small section of road that hasn't been upgraded to match the surrounding area. We did receive 5 bids, and again, this one came in below the engineer's estimate by $154,000. So again, I feel like we got a very good set of bids, and I can answer any questions you might have.
Mr. President, also at committee, we discussed this project and approved letting it. And this is just a nice section that's gonna be now able to be driven through. The residents there don't have water, municipal water. So as part of the contract, we're also installing water mains. There are a couple of owners who have already raised their hand to say they'd like us to include laterals for them. Or they're willing to hook up right away, but this is gonna now be able to provide complete fire protection for them as well. So just a short segment of road, but almost a mile, so it's not really that short, but it's a very good project for the community. And a good bid too.
Good. So then on the matter of the award of contract for Kinzie Avenue Reconstruction, same thing. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So that matter carries as well. So let's go to D, which is discussion possible action regarding a financial agreement between WisDOT and the Village of Mount Pleasant, project ID number 3240-00-73 State Highway 32, Alfred Park Drive to 21st Street.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the state municipal financial agreement for a state-led highway project between WisDOT and the Village of Mount Pleasant.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. Is this Lindsay again?
Yes.
Yes, it is. So this is a DOT project on Highway 32. It starts south of KR and will go up to 21st Street. This is scheduled to start in 2026. And the reason that these agreements are in place is that the DOT only resurfaces and maintains basically through lanes for traffic. And since we allow for road parking in that area, that is why there's a cost share and a maintenance agreement on our part.
The cost sharing on our part's very low, though.
Correct.
Of the total
Much
project,
lower than I
it's
anticipated it to be.
$35,000
Yeah.
compared to a $9 million project.
Correct.
For the parking lanes, so.
Yep.
Our obligation to this is very little.
Mhm.
Oh, maybe not, Dave. Okay. Lindsay, we're just having a little discussion between D and E. it almost seems like a duplication, but it looks like one is a financial agreement and the other is a maintenance agreement.
Correct.
Should we be kind of taking these on as,
So in the recommendation, both motions are put on there, so you could do them at the same time. It's the same project, it's just we got two agreements, one for the financial part, as you said, and then the other for the maintenance agreements. But both motions are put on the executive summary for you.
So Nancy, in your motion, what was that in reference to? Could you read it again?
Yeah, my motion was to approve the financial agreement
Okay,
for a state-led highway project.
so then after this is voted on, then you can make another motion for the maintenance agreement?
Correct, that's what I was anticipating.
Okay.
okay. So, anybody have any questions for Lindsay regarding the financial agreement? There not being any, let's just voice vote on that as well. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So that motion carries, and if you would make another motion?
Yes, sir. I would like to make a motion to approve the state municipal maintenance agreement between WisDOT and the Village of Mount Pleasant for project ID 3240-00-73.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. Again, since it was all kind of handled the same way, any other questions for Lindsay? Not hearing any. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So that matter carries as well. Tourism, trustee Clausen? Anything?
Not at this time.
Okay, so from here, I need a motion to go into closed session.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session for, per Wisconsin statute 19.85, Article 1, Parens 3C, excuse me, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation of data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically the village administrator's annual performance review.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Doxy?
Aye.
Clausen?
Aye.
Hewitt?
Aye.
Washburn?
Aye.
Bhatia?
Aye.
Anastasio?
Aye.
DeGroot?
Aye, so the village is in closed session. I'm guessing, what, 15 minutes? 15, 20 minutes? 15 minutes. But how about,
Mr. President,
go back in?
I'd like to make a motion to convene into closed session,
Open.
open session, reconvene into open session to consider any motions on the matters discussed under the closed session.
Second.
So I hear motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So the village is back in open session, and I don't know, do we have a motion?
Mr. President, I am willing to make a motion at this time. I would like to make a motion to set the administrator's pay to the maximum in her pay grade and make it retroactive to January 1st, 2023.
Second.
So I hear motion and second. Discussion, thoughts?
Mr. President, we just did the evaluation for administrator, and as part of the evaluation, in my opinion, I'll give her, not my opinion, but working with her for last 5 years, I think she's not one of the best, but probably the best administrator. The village is blessed to have everyone over there. So my evaluation of her is, I will give her A+.
Very good.
I agree wholeheartedly with what Ram said. I believe that you have made the village so much better since you've been here. The impact on the staff, the impact on the citizens, the impact on the operations of the village are so much improved, and the atmosphere and the collegiality is just so improved. And, you know, it's due to you, you know.
Maureen, as president of the League of Municipalities, in your over 30 years as administrator for communities throughout Wisconsin, counties throughout Wisconsin, and now as the president of the League of Municipalities, a very, very highly respected position within the municipalities in the state of Wisconsin. And as I understand it, only the first female administrator to be elected to that position. Your organizational skills, your ability to get a lot done with a few words, your ability to let our staff truly run their own departments, guide them as they need it, but give them the power to do their jobs in the manner that they are comfortable in and get the work done that they do, needs to be commended. And we are very lucky to have you. And we're hoping that, you know, we're all hoping we can twist your arm and twist your leg and keep you a couple more years, but we're going to keep you as long as we can. And thank you so much for all you've done.
In my short time as a trustee, I've heard a lot of good things about you, but I know that you've given me a lot of good guidance and answered all my questions when I've ever had questions, so thank you. And looking forward to the next year or till you decide to retire. Thanks.
Nobody has been better at herding cats than our administrator.
Very well said, John. Very well said.
Let's face it, Maureen is a rock star. She is what other administrators aspire to be. And her credentials just keep growing and growing and growing. You would think that as somebody is reaching the tail end of their career, that they start, you know, mailing it in, slacking a little bit. Not her. I mean, she just continues to work at a very high level, continues to set ambitious goals. And has been rewarded by her peers, obviously. President of the League of Wisconsin Municipalities has been, you know, stated. Working with and through not only village and village staff, but also our other neighboring municipalities and county government as well. The RCICC, Racine County Cooperation Council, Intergovernmental Cooperation Council. That is a ridiculous acronym, RCICC. is really a brainchild of Maureen's, and it took a while to bring it to fruition, but I think she deserves at least a little bit of credit for that. And she certainly has had her place in bringing Microsoft to town as well. Not only with her and Claude and M7, Jim Page. It's a group that has worked very, very well and very closely together. So on behalf of the board, congratulations on a very well done performance review, and we're trying to do the little bit that we can to reward you for your great service.
You've done what I thought no one could do. I'm literally speechless.
That's not like you.
Thank you, is all I can say. And we've got a year and a half more to go, and we're going to make it the best ever. So just thank you.
A year, 6 months, 5 days, and 4 hours, if you want to be exact.
But thank you very much. And you've got some folks waiting to thank you even more. So it's a pleasure to work with you folks, all 7 of you. I won't talk about Claude or Chris, but it's a pleasure to work with all 7 of you. So thank you very much. Thank you.
So this is merely a motion at this point. We need to vote it.
I'll save my cartwheel then, because if I could do it, I would.
So we'll make this one roll call.
Doxy?
Aye.
Clausen?
Aye.
Hewitt?
Aye.
Washburn?
Aye.
Bhatia?
Aye.
Anastasio?
Aye.
DeGroot?
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations.
Yay, thank you. Going to Disneyland.
You and Tom Brady.
One last motion.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Holy Toledo.
Motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye,
Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you.